It has been a few days since the accusations were leveled and they have been categorically refuted. The fact that that country, with how big it is, has a part that includes Congolese nationals that speak Kinyarwanda does not mean that every time a problem arises they should be categorized as being part of Rwanda or people that Rwanda supports in some way. Let that be understood. If M23 that belongs to that area has issues with the government of the DRC over the treatment of people there, then those issues should be addressed and resolved. Therefore, every time a problem arises, they should not start claiming that Rwanda is behind it, saying we have sent personnel and equipment there. The fact is that Congo's military attacked its own citizens and was repelled, which is probably why it thinks they had some sort of help in doing so. They do not understand how they were repelled without the help of some hidden force. The deputy spokesperson also pointed out that the DRC, in its accusations, in addition to them being totally false, cannot even be specific about them. What sort of support are they talking about? They say Rwanda is supporting the M23 rebel group, and that's it. They are just keeping people in the dark. If they are claiming support is being provided, they should show it. Is it bullets, tanks or soldiers? Is it medicine or food supplies? Many things are needed during war. Now, on the other hand, Rwanda says its soldiers were kidnapped. Let us look at how that could have been done. Take 2 Rwandan soldiers fully armed, wearing their military uniform and carrying their Rwandan ID cards and military cards. Would they, being sane people, infiltrate 20 kilometers into another country? Where would they be going and to do what exactly, when there are only 2? Think about it. What could 2 people possibly hope to achieve by doing that? Even if there were some sort of commandos, like the ones we used to watch in films like Rambo, what would they be thinking by infiltrating another country, being just 2? Then there is the matter of the more than 140 armed groups in the DRC, one of them being the FDLR, that is comprised of perpetrators that left Rwanda after committing unspeakable atrocities in 1994 during the genocide against the Tutsi, and have since continued to try and cause insecurity in Rwanda while destabilizing security in the eastern DRC.
Niki leta ya Congo yakoze kugira ngo uwo mutwe wa FDLR uve mu burasirazuba bwa Congo? What
has the government of the DRC done to rid itself of the FDLR in the eastern part of its country so that they can stop being a security problem to the Congolese and neighboring countries? All they do is look for a scapegoat every time a problem arises. I honestly do not want to broaden this problem further, but I think other countries may be influencing it. When we do an analysis of the problem in the eastern DRC and look at the way all of those armed groups just coexist with the government forces as well as the UN troops there with no problems, we tend to notice that issues arise only when M23 reminds people that there are agreements that were signed and not respected. Of course, there is also the issue of the DRC deliberately firing into Rwandan territory. Had Rwanda been beating its war drums, do you really think we would have been fired upon first in March and then in May and not responded? It doesn't mean that we do not have the capabilities to fire back. On the Rwandan side, we do not want to fight, and instead we have been working to resolve these problems, using broad and narrow means so that a long-lasting solution can be found. We have noted, however, that at times the other side's government is dragging its feet about it. It doesn't mean, however, that we must be discouraged by that attitude. Because of the problems in the eastern DRC, transportation between Rwanda and that country has been disrupted, including the recent halt of Rwandair flights to destinations in the DRC.